Hey viewers, please don't forget to subscribe if you like the channel. Let's go.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. In the following stories, we will be hearing about real-life experiences and challenges faced by individuals. Let's listen and think about some advices for them. Story 1. The OP is struggling with a cheating spouse and a marriage on the rocks. Okay, let's listen to him. Help me, please. Found out my wife cheated on me and I am lost. My wife and I have been together for 7.5 years. Married for 4, have no kids, but own a house together. We got married young, and both have grown a lot together. My wife has severe mental health issues, bipolar, depression, anxiety, and PTSD. She was raped while we were married 3 years ago, and that has also created a minor substance abuse problem. She was forced to have sex with her boss and leave me. Eventually, the police were involved and we got back together. But she still never really fully got better in terms of her mental health. She's always been bit rash in her decision making and I think she needs medical help, but we could never afford it until recently. Anyways, we've had our fair share of issues, but always have made them work until a few months ago. For like 3 months my wife has been very unhappy. She constantly would say she wanted out and was begging for counseling. The thing is, we couldn't afford it. I was attending college and we had very little money to get help. Every month we were going more into debt because of her bad spending habits, and the fact I couldn't work enough while in college. I kept telling her after I graduate we would when we got caught up on bills. Well, I finally graduated last month, and after 2 paychecks get paid monthly, the plan was to get help, but that wasn't good enough for her. Last weekend, I get a message from my wife's best friend letting me know that my wife fucked her best friend's fiancé. Apparently, both of them felt unhappy about their relationships and wanted comfort. I have text messages of proof, and I presented it to my wife and I said I wanted a divorce. She said good, she wanted a divorce and that this was why she did it. Because she wanted to be done and knew that was the only way I'd listen. She packed up her stuff and moved back in with her mother. The following day, I woke up and really thought about everything. I figured we are young, in our late 20s, and I'm willing to forgive her and give her space if we go to therapy. I truly love her more than anything, and if I wasn't the best husband and clearly she wasn't the best wife, we could patch things up. I mean, why throw everything away after 7 years? My wife is not a bad person, she just has mental health issues, or at least that's what I think. That day, she came over to grab some more of her stuff and we started chatting about feelings. She cried and said she wished we could get back together, but she doesn't want to hurt me anymore. She knows I deserve better. She hugs me, tells me she loves me, and leaves. The following day I tell her we can work things out. If she stops communicating with the guy she slept with, we separate for a while and eventually do counseling. Immediately she refuses to communicate with the guy, because he is also going through a rough time, and states that she's not with him, and she wants to be single right now and find herself. I told her I love her and all these great things, and she said she wishes I would have said that before this all went down. She told me she still needs space. At this point, it's only been 3 days. It's going on 5 days now, and I've been suffering. My heart hurts, I want to make things work, but she doesn't seem to care. She wants space, to find herself, etc., but still says she loves me and said she could see a future with us together, just not now. Then she said she thinks we shouldn't get divorced yet officially, and take more time to figure things out, but later that day she told me that she thinks I should tell my family that we are divorced. She's sending me all of these mixed signals. And I get it, I haven't given her a lot of time. But if you truly loved someone, wouldn't you want to make things work? Wouldn't you at least commit to something? And the thought of her still hanging out with this other man is crushing me. So am I rushing into the idea of a divorce? Should I wait and give her more time? I told her today she needs to make up her mind by tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to the courthouse to file. I know I'm not supposed to give her an ultimatum, but I need to protect myself. The longer I wait, the more likely I am to lose more in the divorce. She has very little money, and now that I have a good job I'm about to be making good money. I don't want to stay together for an extra 2 months if that means I get screwed, and she's seeing other men. Unless of course, she agrees to my plan. Which is we stay separated and don't file, but she blocks the guy she hooked up with, and we get counseling in between then. Please help. I don't know if I'm thinking correctly. As we delve into this relationship story, it's important to keep in mind that everyone's perspectives and experiences are unique and valuable. So let's listen what other people are saying for the OP. Commentator 1 says, I wouldn't bother. There's a bigger issue here, and until she is willing to improve herself it will be difficult to rebuild the trust in marriage. OP replies, I agree, until she is willing to improve herself it will be difficult to rebuild the trust in marriage. But if it's only been 5 days, am I rushing into the idea of divorce or should I let things play out? Commenter 2 wanna say this. File. Don't stay with anyone who cheats with the stated intention of pissing you off. Especially don't stay with someone who will fuck her best friend's fiancé. You'll never trust her again, and you shouldn't. Update. Getting a divorce, need help. She refuses to sign anything. Hi everyone. Just wanted to give an update on my situation since my last post. I decided to move forward with the divorce. She told me she didn't love me anymore romantically and is clearly still seeing the guy she cheated on me with. I decided it was not worth my time, and with all of your advice and many others, I decided to be done with her indefinitely. It's still eating me up inside, but I'm trying to stay busy. Really trying to work on me and spend time with friends. My issue and reason for writing this is I filed and served her, and now she is refusing to sign the first paper, the letter of acceptance. She keeps coming up with excuses like she's too busy, or she wants her dad to look at the paperwork, or she's worried she's going to lose her rights if she signs it. But it's literally a letter of acceptance, all that does is start the 90-day clock. The plan was to divide our assets when the house is appraised July 18th. I keep explaining it to her, but she refuses to listen and is making things super difficult. First, trying to communicate with her is almost impossible. She is making me speak to her through her parents. Which is fine, her parents are reasonable people, but I gave her the paperwork on Tuesday and she still hasn't signed it. Every time I speak to the parents they refuse to answer if they will sign the paperwork or not. They are being very short with me and making things really hard. She originally agreed to a no-fault divorce, meaning both parties agree, but without her consent I'm not sure what to do. She clearly wants to get divorced but doesn't want to sign anything, or keeps telling me she will later, and this all happened too soon and she's not ready. We both don't have that much money and I want to avoid lawyers, but if she doesn't accept the divorce, do I have any other options other than using a lawyer? I live in PA, and we were trying to do a no-fault divorce. Any advice on spouses who refuse to sign paperwork? I am also worried they're trying to buy time so they can get a lawyer, or find some way to screw me. Let's listen what the people are saying to him. Commenter 1 says, Stay strong op. Reread your post. You are doing the right thing. She has some serious trauma and her mental issues are something that only she can address. Not much more you can do, sadly. Maybe a divorce attorney can give you some advice, etc. You own a house, so you do have assets to protect. Best to you. Commenter 2 says, Get a lawyer ASAP. Laws are not the same in every state. Some lawyers offer free consultations to speak with you to let you know the process, others charge up to $200, but it's well worth it. Then if you decide to hire one, you pay a retainer. If it's a cut and dry divorce, meaning everything goes smooth and the attorney only has to do a few things, you will get back whatever wasn't used of your retainer. You don't want to play around with this on your own unless you have legal experience. One more important update from OP. I've been getting a few DMs and comments on my older posts, so I figured I'd give you guys an update. Short recap. My significant other of 7 years cheated on me with her best friend's fiancé, so I filed for divorce. She wouldn't sign the papers and is in a relationship with this guy. After my last post, my ex-wife forced herself into the house. Legally we both owned it, so I couldn't do anything about her living there again. It was okay for the first couple days. Then she started bringing her new boyfriend over, the same guy she cheated on me with. I was enraged at the beginning. Having him there in my house, in the other room, was so hard to deal with. Not to mention, every time I'd come home my ex would be there drunk or high. It was awful. So I talked it over with my family and moved out. I decided for my mental health I needed to leave. So I moved in with my father. Soon after leaving, my ex signed the paperwork and finally we started the divorce process. In terms of splitting things, she wouldn't budge on anything, and in the end I lost the house. I didn't mind that too much because with our agreement I didn't have to pay alimony, and she actually paid me out on the equity of the house. The payment wasn't much, but enough for me to pay off the joint credit card debt we accrued together. The only issue is she needed to refinance to get the mortgage in her name. Something I hoped would be done within the 90 days but wasn't. I asked a lawyer if I should wait on divorce until she refinanced and they told me it really wouldn't matter. So after we came to terms, waited 90 days, we went to the courthouse last month and made it official. While I was there my ex apologized and told me she had thyroid cancer and that's the reason she's been all of the place the last 2 years. Apparently the thyroid affects your hormones and for her the doctors said that's the reason she likely had a miscarriage, which caused her alcohol and drug abuse. I didn't know what to say or how to react. None of that excuses her cheating on me, but at least it explained why she did what she did. I wished her the best and she drove away from the courthouse with her boyfriend. I got the divorce decree in the mail a few days later. As of right now she's living at my old house with her new boyfriend and still has yet to refinance. Thankfully she's paying the bills so it's not like hurting me at the moment. But it's still really frustrating because I can't get a new mortgage until I get off of this one. Every time I ask her she comes up with another excuse on why she has yet to refinance. She's in a lot of debt, and no one will co-sign her. So legally I'm still on the mortgage and half owner of the house even though we're divorced. I'm not overly worried about that. Because money isn't a huge issue, but next year if she still hasn't refinanced it'll be incredibly hard for me to get a house myself. So why am I writing this post? Well, the holidays have been awful. My ex's family has reached out to me saying how much they miss me. I feel empty inside and super depressed. I went from having everything to nothing within a year. I'm waiting for it to get better but it hasn't. The only good thing is I've lost weight and my job is going great. I'm just so lonely. I miss her and her family. Her family was my family for 7 years and that's what hurts the most. I never had a great connection with my actual family growing up and when I finally had one I was so happy. Now I'm not. Let's listen what other people have to say to OP for this update. Commenter 1 says, I'm confused, she had thyroid cancer for 2 years and didn't tell you. Either way, it might be a reason for the miscarriage, but it might not. But to pin the miscarriage, drugs, alcohol, cheating, shitty personality, being a dick and bringing her cheating partner into your home, all on that. That's a far stretch. And it still even doesn't explain not telling you about the cancer. Unless she got it recently and made it seems like it started years ago. If she's not even lying about that too. Commenter 2 says, thanks for the update. I remember reading your post when my wife and I separated in July and I joined this sub-law. Sorry this is happening. I don't know if it would be appropriate for you to visit her family now and again. If they do miss you and are amicable, it could be a way to help yourself heal by seeing them. That's up to you though. In the meantime it might be worth getting an agreement in place for the house. Since you're still on the title you could be liable if she falls through on payments. Could be a messy situation. That being said, it sounds like you came out on top. I know you loved her deeply. It will get better. You're still young, have a solid job and a place to live. You might feel like you're gliding right now with no immediate goal, but remember you're still airborne. Just coast a while. Save some cash and do some traveling, my recommendation. Commenter 3 says. You need to get a lawyer. If she is refusing to sign anything, then get your proof again the affair. Talk to your lawyer about doing a fault divorce and have her officially served by a process server at her place of employment. You have tried to make it easy on her, but if she refuses to accept reality, then take off the gloves. There was one post recently where a woman got served in the hospital after giving birth to an affair baby. The guy's wife paid extra for the guy to publicly state that she had willingly got pregnant by a married man. It was done in front of her family, co-workers, hospital workers. The woman went scorched earth on her husband and AP. You could pay your process server extra to announce that she is being served with divorce papers for conducting an ongoing affair and cheating on her husband. If for some reason she is still in the house, move her out of the master bedroom and put a lock on the door. I would cancel any joint debit credit cards so that she cannot run up any debt that you get stuck having to pay. Lock down your credit too. Talk to your lawyer about how to further separate your finances. I would open a new bank account in a different bank and start having your paycheck deposited there. My advice to this guy. Man, I want to say this to you. You escaped a toxic woman who was cheating right in front of your eyes and didn't seem to care. Then trying to make excuses with thyroid illness bullshit. 2. You don't have children to cause huge stress post-marriage. 3. You can always reconnect with your in-laws in a new and dynamic relationship. Maybe take some time to chill and get your head in a good spot, then reconnect with them again. 4. You are free to see other people and build relationships with fresh and normal women who will respect you and love you for who you are. Never underestimate the opportunity to start over. So my friends, it is truly inspiring to listen to the personal journeys of others and reflect on what we can learn from them. These stories are just a small representation of the diverse and captivating experiences of people all around us. If you found these stories to be insightful and impactful, I encourage you to join us on our journey by subscribing to our channel. Sharing experiences and learning from one another is a powerful tool for growth and self-improvement. Let's continue this journey together and explore new perspectives. Thank you.